Ahoy there! Coming up this week, I travel from somewhere to somewhere. Penarth to Portishead, up the Bristol Channel, which is super dangerous and super interesting and super dangerous. Also, I get sick with nerves.
I am sick with nerves.
I don't have a race,
It isn't a race.
and my crocs say hello.
Hello.
Right, without further ado, let's get going.
Ahoy! It is day number something or other, and I am sick with nerves, actually. It's going to be difficult, probably, or I'm thinking it's going to be difficult, which is making me feel a bit sickly about it. The plan today, I will just show you on my phone, is from Cardiff over here to Portishead over there. So I've got all the tide going in my favour and everything. The trouble I've got at the minute is that the wind has been gusting sort of 23 knots from directly astern of me, which is fine. I can back out alright, but my concern is that if I try to rotate the boat in the fairway, I've got to get out that way, and the prop walks that way, so I'll probably go out like that. I don't know if I've got enough room in the fairway to spin the boat and get going that way, because my absolute nightmare is to start spinning the boat. It doesn't go around quick enough and get pinned against the boats on this side. I've got to trust myself that I can rectify that if it starts to happen, or identify that it's happening, but it's actually died down a little bit now. Yeah, it's gusting sort of thing, so I'm not actually leaving for another couple of hours, so it might die down then. It's forecast to say the same, but yeah, I feel a bit sick about it. So I'm in the marina here, where you can see my little arrow. I've got to come out through the barrage, through this now. I'll be leaving just after low water. Anything that's in blue goes to less than 2 meters depth at lowest astronomical tide. Anything in green dries out at lowest astronomical tide, and it'll give you the height there. So even at low tide today, I've got 1.9 meters above chart datum. Therefore, anything that's in blue, I'll have at least 1.9 meters over, plus whatever its depth is. So for instance, that's 0.3 there, so I'd have 2.1 meters. I don't want to go over stuff like that that's that shallow, but what I can do is just come out here and come around this way and along, because this is sending me down and around these spits. But as I come down here, I've got the tide running this way quite a bit, so I'll have to angle the boat this way to fight the tide before I make the turn, because I'm down tide of the hazards sort of thing. Whereas if I go this way, I think the tide will be in my favour, and I'll be up tide of these major hazards here. I'll see how I feel when I get there. To be fair, I'll probably just end up following the thing and doing as it says. So yeah, it's going to be gusting 23 knots. It's almost going to be dead downwind, and it's going to be 3 knots of tide. And I've basically got 8 hours to play with to do 15 miles. So I think what I'll do is just stick up a bit of headsail, see what sort of speed I do. I want to get there at some time between, ideally I'd get there around 8 PM, which is 30 minutes before high tide, high water. So I've been waffling for 3 minutes already. Right, let's get to me leaving. Okay, here we go. So you can see I've got the bowline set up there as a 4-spring. That's just until the tension comes on this white line, which is set as a quick release knot, and then the stern line set to slip. So what I will do is, as you can see there, the tiller is all the way over to port, and the engine is in ahead. So that's now putting tension on those springs and pushing the stern in, and the tension on the spring is keeping the bow in. I'm now releasing the forward line slowly until tension comes on the quick release knot to make sure it doesn't quickly release when it shouldn't do. Everything's sitting as I expect it to. Chuck the line back on the boat, and then we move on to the boat itself. The stern line I can just slip, which you will see momentarily. As if by magic. So now basically all that's holding me is the tension on that quick release line that you can see there, and the tiller being in position. Just doing some faffery, thinking about where the wind is and what I'm doing. Release the tension on it. You can see the boat just springs back slightly. Quick release the knot, and now I'm away. Going astern, you'll notice that the stern kicks around behind me slightly there, which is the way that the prop walk goes. I'm playing with the tiller, it's actually doing absolutely nothing just yet. I was getting a little bit close on the side there, so I actually stopped the boat, moved the stern back over, and then got going again. Cleared the boat on the jetty now. Because the wind's coming from astern of me, my safe place is actually all the way astern of me, because I'm only going to blow away from those boats. So what I do is I just come all the way close up to this gentleman's boat who's sat on it behind me, to give me enough space in front of me to get going. So you tiller over, into forward, boat stops, we start spinning. And this is all done pretty much in tick over. A little bit over tick over there, it wasn't it? And that is it. We are away. Hashtag nobody died.
Penarth Marina, this is sailing vessel Genie Stewart. Genie Stewart, over.
Marina, go ahead of it.
Penarth Marina, Genie Stewart. For your information, I'm just departing Echo and like to leave by the lock, over.
Stewart, yeah, no problem at all. Make your way down. I'll get the gates open as soon as possible and exit on green, over.
Thank you very much. Standing by, 80.
Okay, so as I came out, there were actually only a little bit of space in the lock, and one of the boats was trying to get in there.
Alright, control, sailing vessel Genie Stewart. Am I okay to follow a door into lock 3 outbound, over?
Yeah, Roger that. We'll get you out through lock number 3 now.
Thank you very much.
Yeah, so we hung on and we ended up getting a second lockout together, which is what you shall see in a moment.
here we go into the lock. Well, into the barrage, or whatever you want to call it. So they lift that big swing bridge up for us to get in. And there's me. I'm doing an old picture-in-picture doodad madanga, like a professional. So the boat in front, Azor actually stopped quite far back, and they asked if they wanted them to go forwards, which I said,
If possible.
that.
Hey, alright.
And then somebody else said hello. I don't know who that was. Yeah, so they very kindly moved the boat a bit further forwards for me, and then came and grabbed my lines as well, which was super nice. I was actually I was set up like in my head for doing it on my own, so I had the lines set up on my own. So when somebody was on the dock, it sort of threw me momentarily of, hang on, I don't know what to do now. Even though it was a lot easier with somebody there, it sort of, I hadn't computed it in my brain beforehand because I was expected to do it on my own sort of thing. Yeah, so you can see there are floating pontoons at either side of the lock here, which makes it a damn sight easier than sort of canal locks where you've got to adjust your lines and stuff like that. Basically you just tie up to the pontoon and the pontoon goes up and down with Zivata. Zivata? I don't speak language. Yeah, so what I usually do is come forwards, get this breast line on, and basically the boat's secure then. I actually carried a little bit too much speed in, which caused it to spring the bow in. And this very nice chap took the bow line and tied that off for me, and then I did the stern line. Yeah, all good in the hood.
Very much. Please. Videos where I lose my phone in the water, but just under Headsel in the Bristol Channel now. Maddie's doing her work back there. The dredger over yon. I'm racing 3 boats. I think they're all going to Portishead. They're all travelling together, so it's nice to have a bit of company. See who gets there first. Probably not me. I'm just going under Headsel and chilling out. I'm getting back to the cockpit. As I said on the bow, it isn't a race, although I have checked one off already, don't tell anyone. It's not a race. The other 2 are getting closer, I believe. The wind is right on our stern, so I'm just trying to balance and stop the headsail jibing. So it's a little bit finicky. I'm sat with my little pole, faffing around, but We're doing around 5 knots. We'll get there around 8 at this speed, but our speed is going to increase when we get into the tidal stream. We're going to have 3 knots of tide with us, so I know you can't see me, I'm a silhouette, but c'est la vie. Right, let's do some chasing. It isn't a race, but if it was, I'd be about to check off this yacht here and put myself in second. But it isn't a race in any shape or form. It reminds me of that meme where it's like 3, 2, 1, go. It's like it's not even racing, like it blinked. Well, these guys have blinked. Only because I'm winning. If I was losing, it wouldn't be a race. And I hope they don't find out it's a race, because they'll probably put all of the headsel out and beat me. I don't know why I was worried about today. I do this to myself. I let my brain get all frazzled about things. I worry about stuff so much and then put like artificial barriers in front of myself. I should have set off yesterday, and I talked myself out of it like an idiot. But yeah, once I'm going, I'm absolutely fine. I'm loving it. It's fantastic. It's just getting myself going and keeping my brain in check. Yeah, anyway, Portishead is that way. It's weird being on sort of tidal river water and it being all brown from the sediment and stuff. Yeah, once I get past these guys, I might put it on autopilot and move my bin bag. I forgot to move it, so it's swinging round and doing my heading. Yeah, all good in the hood. Ooh, I need to ring Greg and see if he's in Bristol this weekend. I'll say hello to him. Yeah, right, see you in a bit. I mean, as I said, and I would like to reiterate once again, this is in no respect a race. But if it was, I think I'd have just nosed into the front. But it's not a race. But if it was, I would be one of 4. My old girl with a busted keel and a fat ham-fisted fool at the helm who doesn't know what he's doing, wearing Crocs. Hello. It's nothing to do with me, it's the boat. I'm sure if somebody who knew what they were doing was on this boat, they'd be going 2 knots faster. But it doesn't matter, I'm counting it. The Bristol Channel is weird. It's sort of very, because there's tide running now at a couple of knots probably. It's all very confused and weird and murky and ominous and, you know, dangerous. That's why they call it ship shape and Bristol fashion. Yeah, I mean, this is benign conditions, very benign. I wouldn't like to be on here in anything other than that. I was chatting to a couple of people. In fact, a few people met me in Penarth. It was really nice. I'm crap with names, so I'm not even going to guess. But 2 chaps came over just an hour before I left, so I didn't really get a chance to speak to them much. It gave me a bit of local knowledge and stuff like that of where to avoid. And the chap off Elise said, yeah, sort of leave Portishead on neat, because it sounds great flying down the channel with like 3 knots, but the prevailing wind is southwesterly, which means you're upwind down the channel on wind against tide, and you don't want to be doing that with however many knots of tide. So he said it can get up to like 3-4 metre waves. No thank you. So I'm gonna chill out, concentrate, there we go. Yeah, we're still going. I'm going to chill out in Portishead until Wednesday, because I have a meeting on Monday with a lady from an electric outboard place. I think a man or a lady called Sam from an electric outboard place who might want to send me an outboard to test out, which will be great because I really need a dinghy and an outboard to get to places, so that'll be fantastic. and then on Tuesday I've got another meeting with somebody who wants to do a sponsor thing. So hopefully they'll come off and I'll get paid, and that'll be fantastic, but we'll see. Just got to play it all by ear. I'm definitely in the lead now, although I've sacrificed a few degrees to keep wind in my sails, because this boat's so light it sort of wobbles around a lot more than theirs. Yeah, I don't know what to say, just plodding on. It's only going to be a 3-hour trip, something like that. Nice and chilled out. I'm in no rush. High tide there is 8:30 PM. It looks like I'm going to get there at about 7 PM, which is great. I can get there at up to midnight and still get in. So, you know, I'm just plodding around, having a nice day sat on the Bristol Channel, with the sun directly behind me, so you can't see a bloody thing. Or can you? I don't know. I've moved the bag because that was driving me nuts. Oh, that was stupid. I need to concentrate. There's a lot of detritus in this here Bristol Channel. I'm hoping it's just nice soft stuff, because there's a line that I just can't get around. No bangs, no nothing. Well, look at the water, how it's all churning underneath. I don't think you'll be able to see it, but jeez Louise, it's crazy. It just looks, it won't come across on the camera. There's no waves now, it's all died down, but you can see the currents flying through, and it's lifting all the silt and sand and everything to the surface, and we're in several meters of water. It's crazy. It just looks angry. I just really messed up. Shook me up a little bit, that actually. Not properly, but there's a green starboard lateral marker there. I found myself on the wrong side of it as I was coming down, but I was like, oh, it's okay because it's loads of water, that's for big ships. But what I did do is found myself down tide of it. So I was looking, and then I suddenly realised I was on a constant bearing to it. And the tide hitting it was like 5 knots, it looked like. So I managed to, there was no way I had time to get up tide of it. So luckily I managed to turn and get onto more of a beam reach and pick up some speed, and I missed it by about 2 meters. Yeah. First big mistake that. Could have been a dangerous one. Don't mess around with the Bristol Channel. Cocked up there, gentlemen, ladies and gentlemen. The wind, I'm struggling to keep the wind where I want the wind to be, to get up the channel the way I want to go. I'm going to go and play about with the sheet, see if I can do something. Learned my lesson with this one. Jeez Louise. Don't quite realise. It's reasonably benign when you're sat on the boat because you're moving with the tide. Oh dear. Right. Back to it. On the plus side, I can see the 7 bridge thing up there. I'm having a really good time. We're doing actual racing now with this boat behind me, playing around, which is great, and they got some footage of me filming. He actually told me how to overtake him because I didn't know. It was fantastic. What we're doing between 9 and 9.4 knots. It's all good in the hood. Don't even know what time it is, but we're going to get there at 7:15, which is about perfect. By the time we get the fenders sorted and sail away, it'll be time to go in the lock at 0:00. So yeah, all good in the hood. Now I'm going to concentrate so I don't lose my lead. So I'm just trying to stay out of the way of this lad. Don't know who they're beeping the horn at, but you know. That's a big bastard. I'm going to get smashed to bits by its wash. Fucking problem.
Et voila, that was that. Interesting journey. First bit of like proper downwind for the day sailing that I'd done. And Portishead Marina's great, you know. It's like a proper little village with everything right near it. You'll notice I'm not on the boat, don't tell anybody. But yeah, fantastic, nice day's trip. I think I put a little tear on my headsail while I was going. You know, like where my nav lights are, they're on like backing plates. And I think the headsail went up and caught that and it's put a little mark on it, so I need to get that sorted. But that's a job for another day. Yeah, basically, that's it for this week. In a few days, you'll see the video tour of Penarth that is upcoming. Not Penarth. Portishead. You should have already seen Penarth, I think. I don't know. Do I look like a guy with a plan? Tune in next week for some more catastrophes.